guys, welcome back to episode 2. Thank you to everyone that's followed and shared the last video. If you haven't already watched it, go and watch episode 1. So we're back here. I've spent the last day trying to get off my petrol tank so I can get it off and clean out the sludge and varnish that's being built up into my tank, and I can't get in there without getting the cap off. So I'm just about to head down to the hardware store and go and get something. I've been using normal WD-40. I'm going to just go and have a look if they've got anything else down there that can get into the lock and penetrate it a little bit more. So once I get that cap off, it's not budged for, I've spent all day yesterday trying to get it out, no joy at all. But once we get that cap off, we can go on to phase 2, which is cleaning out the petrol tank and getting all that sludge out of it. I really don't want to buy another petrol cap. I'm going to end up having 2 separate keys. But anyway, keep it locked to this episode, guys, and we'll see where we get to. All right, guys, I had to leave and I'm back now for round 2 with this petrol cap. I've actually gone and got some WD-40 specialist penetrate, especially for rusted locks and corroded parts. So I'm going to spray some of this over to the top. I'm going to spray some of this in here. I want to try and get some in there if I can. And also, I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to try and spray some in the direction of the lock inside the actual tank. Where is the actual lock? It's right down here. Don't know if it's going to even get there. I'll leave it upside down for a bit, let that soak in. Let me just stick this under here so it kind of evens it out a little bit. Where's the lock? Yeah, I want it to go towards there. Stick a bit more in there. All right, we'll leave that there for a bit and see if anything happens. So come back. Guys, we're back again to try and get this cap off. No. We'll be back in an hour. All right, guys, let's give it another go to see if this is budged. It is as solid as anything. Let's put some more WD-40 in there. Let's try and stick some in here. I really don't want to snap the key, guys. We'll come back and check again. Guys, this is day 2. I've been spraying this in there every hour for the last 2 days, and we've not had any joy. Let's try again. Nah, it's no joy, guys. No joy. No, still no joy, guys. We'll come back and try again. Let's spray a bit more in there. We'll come back and try again. Alright guys, we're gonna try this again, see if there's any joy, any movement. There's a bit more movement in here, guys. We'll come back again and try it. Guys, 3 days. 3 days of constant WD-40 spraying, twiggling the lock, trying to force it with a screwdriver. Every hour I was spraying that lock, and guys, I'm just so happy right about now. Look at this, we've finally got that petrol cap off, and it had a bit of sludge in there and a bit of grease, but I've got it all out. It's pretty clean now. There's hardly anything left in there. And guys, the key works. The key's working fine. And I don't need to buy another lock. I can keep the one key for my bike. You can have a look at the mechanism. Looks pretty clean in there, looks decent. Just gonna clean out a little bit more. Just got a little bit more of grime in there. But guys, we're so happy. We can go on to phase 2 now, which is to clean out the tank. This is I was almost going to give up. Get the drill out the lock, and just order a new petrol cap off of eBay. But I'm glad I persisted. It's finally come off, guys. I was so pleased. Literally, I've come out, I've jiggled it with the key, and it started turning, and I've given it a little bit of force, and it came off. So guys, phase 2 now. We're gonna get the tank cleaned out and get on to phase 2 of this project. We're getting there, guys, we're getting there. So guys, here we have the tank. It's a plastic tank, and I've taken the top layer shell off, and this is what's gonna need to get cleaned. It does look very gunky in there. I'm gonna try some soap and water and see how we get on with that. And I know I'm gonna have to dry it really, really well. So I'm gonna wait until tomorrow. It's a better sunny day tomorrow, and then I can leave it to bake in the sun for a bit. But right about now, I'm gonna leave it upside down, so get out as much crap out of there as possible. And to be honest, it looks pretty decent. I can see quite a bit of varnish in there. All right guys, so I've decided, because it doesn't look too bad in there, I'm gonna fill this tank up with soap and water and let it sit there for a bit. Soap and warm water, and see if that kind of gets some of the scum out from the bottom of the tank. We'll give that a go, let it sit for a few hours, empty it out, try again, and if it doesn't work, I'll go ahead and go and get the white vinegar and give that a go. But so let's try. So we're gonna go ahead and put some warm water in there with warm soapy water. So we're going to let that sit there for a bit, and hopefully it'll get some of that scum out, and we'll have a look at it a bit later. Hi guys, so the soap and water didn't really clear out my petrol tank, so we're off to the local hardware store to go and get some white vinegar. I phoned up a couple of bike places and they said it should be safe in my plastic petrol tank. We're also going to go and get some carb cleaner because we're going to attack that carb today. And let's go and get down there. All right, guys, we're back from the hardware store and we're going to bring out the big guns. So right about now, I've been recommended this product here, white vinegar. We're going to pour this into the petrol tank to clear out some of that sludge and the varnish out of the petrol tank, and slosh that around for a little while with some bolts in there to get that cleaned out. And then to neutralize it, I've also got some carbonated soda or baking soda, as it's known much better. That's going to get all the vinegar out of the tank after the last prep, so we can get the tank up and ready. The next thing, I'm not sure if we'll get to it in this video, but the next thing that we need to sort out is the carb. It looks like a mess. I don't know whether I can just clean it without having to change the seals, but I assume I may need to have to change the seals. So I'm going to get the carb off. I'm going to try and get the model number off of it, and then have a look around online to see if I can get a carb with a similar model number. So let's start off. Let's get some of this into the petrol tank and see if we can get some of that sludge out. So guys, first of all, we're going to start with taking off this section off the tank.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's seized on. It's coming off. It's just got a massive washer in there. There we go, guys. We'll give that a bit of a clean. Let's stick the screws back in where they belong. Okay, so we're ready to fill this tank. I'm just going to block up this hole underneath so we don't lose any of our nice vinegar out of there, and then we're ready to roll. All right, guys, so we're just going to plug this hole. I've just been searching around for something that's suitable, but I think this piece of plastic with a bit of tape around it will be fine. I tried a similar technique when I done the soapy water. Let's see, hopefully that will hold. Just stick some on top just in case the vinegar starts penetrating through. Which it shouldn't do, but just in case. I'll stick some on there. There we go. All right, we're ready for the vinegar treatment, guys. Get all of that sludge out of this tank. Get it nice and clean in there. It just doesn't look great. I'm also going to put in these 4 bolts just to agitate it. They're kind of half-inch bolts. We'll just go in there just to agitate some of the vinegar. All right, guys, so we're going to start the treatment now. So the first thing we're going to do is pour in this vinegar into here. Let's make sure we don't spill any. Don't need a lot in there. And I'm going to put these bolts. I'm going to put these bolts in there. So I'm sticking 4 in there. So we've got to make sure 4 come back out. I would like to seal off the top a little bit as well, actually. Give it a good shake. Let's see if I can find something to close the top up with. So I found one of these plastic cups. Kind of pretty much fits in there quite decent. Let me give it a good old swirl. Guys, we're gonna keep it in there and just keep swishing it around. I can see a bit of sludge in there. We'll come back to it shortly. All right, guys, so we've done kind of round 1 with the vinegar, and we've just gone in and done round 2 to get out a bit more of that sludge. So it's done quite a good job, and it's got quite a lot of varnish out of there and some of the gunk. But I'm just going to do another round. Let that sit there for a bit, and then we'll clean that out. So it's looking much better. So let's get this petrol tank clean, and then we're going to give it a nice old clean out with the baking soda, and then get the hose out and give it a thorough wash on the inside. Hopefully get any last remaining bits out. And then, guys, the petrol tank is done. We're 1 step closer. You just see that big B that flew across here. We're 1 step closer to getting this bike on the road. The next thing we need to tackle is the carburetor. I can't believe I've just paid £12 for air. So this is to kind of clean out the valves on the carburetor and get it nice and clean. It's going to need this. I'm going to have to get some kind of wire or a needle to clean out some of the jets on the carburetor. So that's the next thing we're going to be making a start on. So stay with us. We're going to get this bike started really soon. All right, guys, next thing we're going to do is tackle getting this carburetor out. So we've got a couple of pipes here that we need to get out. And then let's see what we can do here. So I'm definitely going to have to buy a new one of these. So let's keep that out of the way for the time being. What we need to get to is this here. So a couple of cables on here. So the straight one It seems to be seized on. Right, let's get a Phillips screwdriver on here. So let's get a bit of WD-40 on it to loosen it up a bit. This one. Guys, that was quite a bit of work. Finally got in there and got the carburetor out. It doesn't look too bad actually. It looks quite clean in there and in there. But we're gonna give it a good old clean. Make sure the jets are clear and get this carburetor refurbished. So let's get into it. So guys, I've literally got my carb out and it's in pieces. There's quite a few little pieces. So this is the top housing. It's the bottom housing. You can see it looks a bit greenish in there. These are the two jets. So that's the main jet here and that's the smaller jet. That's just the part that goes on the end of the jet. There's the floater there. The floater looks like it's in quite a good condition. So I'm not going to worry about that too much, but have a look in there. Let's get that cleaned up. Let's get this cleaned up in here. And I've got a little toothbrush that I'm going to use with some air. We've got some Holt's carb cleaner. We've also got the spray duster. It's going to clear out all these valves. So let's get this cleaning. Let's get this carburetor looking brand new. sure it's super tight. We don't want it to leak. Guys, that is the carburetor done. That's the carburetor absolutely clean and looking good. So we've got the carburetor back in there, and it all went in fine. It was a little bit bitty because there's not a lot of space in there. I didn't really need to take the fairings off, but I do need to get a new one of these petrol valve sensor. So I'm going to, if you can have a look down there, there it is there, petrol valve sensor. I'm going to order one of those from eBay now, and hopefully guys, when this goes back in, I think I'm going to order a couple of these new pipes as well. I wonder if the sensor comes with one of them, but I'm going to order a couple of these new pipes because I think they've gone a little bit hard over the years. I think that's it. Going to have to put the petrol tank back in. That's almost clean. That's sitting there with vinegar in there. I'm going to go and have a look at that in a minute, and wait until this valve sensor turns up and we can plug everything in, and we can do our first start. Guys, I think we're almost there. I thought this was going to take a lot longer to put back together. So I think another 1 or 2 more episodes, we can actually see this baby start for the first time in 10 years. That's just crazy. So I've got a bit more work to do, get the petrol tank cleaned out, get this ordered, fit this part in, this sensor. This plugs directly into the petrol tank and feeds the petrol through. As you can see, it is absolutely disgusting. So guys, another day. We've cleaned out the tank. We've put the carbonated soda in there, rinsed it all out. It's neutralized the acid, and it's over there on the side drying. The carb is back in the bike, all nice and clean, ready to go. It looks a bit bent, and I'm not sure whether the carburetor needs to be upright. I'm going to have a look at some of my original pictures that I took earlier before I took it off to make sure that it's right. The next thing, we've just got to wait for that one part to come from eBay, which is the petrol valve. Once that comes, guys, we're almost there. After 10 years of this bike being stood in storage, we're about to get it started. So next couple of episodes, we should be able to get the bike started. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been supporting this channel, everyone that's been watching and following. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see this bike starting. You don't want to miss that. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you get an alert as soon as the next video comes up. But I think, guys, we're going to leave it here for this one. It's just been a mad journey over the last few days. I didn't think that I'd be able to get the carburetor off and clean it all out and put it all back in, but it was fine. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too mucky inside either. So it's quite easy to clean. It's all back inside and we're all ready to go for the next episode. Until then, stay safe. See ya.